clean my grout. If you're new here, my name is Elise. I made a video a couple of years ago about cleaning my grout in my last house, and I tried to use toilet bowl cleaner. I don't recommend it. It was very stinky and it didn't even really work. It made the tiles really clean because basically I bleached my tiles, you know? But now that I'm older and wiser, I've done my research, and we're gonna try two methods today in my new Wisconsin house. One method I heard was to use Resolve High Traffic Carpet Cleaner. This is recommended because it can lighten and clean your grout, and it has a thin stream that sprays out, and it's easy to put it where you need it in your grout lines. And the other method we're gonna use is the tried and true hydrogen peroxide and baking soda with a little dish soap. So let's test it out. My first guesses are that the Resolve is gonna be easy to use, and I'm sure it's gonna clean the grout, but I don't know if it's gonna lighten it as much as I want. I don't have to mix anything. I can just spray it on and see what happens. Whereas the peroxide and baking soda method, I have to keep mixing it. I'm not sure how much I need, but it's not gonna be stinky, and it's all natural. It's not like terrible chemicals. I think I'm gonna get more lightening out of this, but I'm excited to see. For the baking soda peroxide mixture, we need 2 parts baking soda to 1 part peroxide, and then a little bit of dish soap. Now, if you're doing this in your bathroom or your laundry room, you can just do baking soda and peroxide. But if you're somewhere like your kitchen where there was grease present, you want to add some dish soap, apparently. I'm making a huge mess trying to clean. Some professional cleaners report that they use vinegar on their grout. Things like vinegar and bleach, they're often too strong for a lot of types of grout. A lot of professional cleaners will mix equal parts vinegar and water to raise the pH level so it's not too acidic for your grout, because you don't want it to eat away at your grout. Some important things to pay attention to are, what kind of grout do you have? Do you have sanded grout, non-sanded grout? Is it sealed? Is it not sealed? So do your own Googling, figure out what's best. But I'd say when in doubt, do something that's kind of easy on your grout, like this, the peroxide and baking soda mixture, and see if it works. I feel like I'm baking muffins. Most disgusting muffins ever. Okay, cool. Okay, just for this purpose, I saved my last bottle of dish soap, so this is empty. I figure I could fill it up and like squeeze it in the grout lines, you know? So we're gonna try that. Oh, hey, it's working. Oh my God, I'm a genius. Yeah, buddy. Ooh. So this is the grout in my kitchen. As you can see, it's really dark, but I know it's supposed to be lighter because if you go into my bedroom and look at this lower traffic area, it is beige and not like black. So we need to fix that. Hi, welcome to the middle of my kitchen. All right, so we are swept and mopped with my steam mop. So we're gonna do Resolve here. Yeah, it is pretty easy to get it where you want it. I'm gonna do another line here. This one I'm just gonna let sit. This one I'm gonna scrub after a few minutes. Then over here, we're gonna do the baking soda and peroxide and dish soap mixture. Oh, Jesus. Lord, help me. Okay. Okay, now I got the hang of it. Okay. So we're doing that here and here. Same thing. This one is gonna just sit. This one I'm gonna scrub with my Rubbermaid spin brush. I'm also gonna do one more line here and here. This one I'm gonna let sit even longer to see if time makes a big difference. Definitely got some dirt up. Interesting. The brushing made a huge difference. I'm still getting dirt on the cloth on this side. So I needed to scrub no matter what. It's getting cleaner as I wipe. As far as here goes, I think I got most of it up. Yeah, I'm not getting any more dirt on the cloth here. I'm gonna let these two sit for an additional 15 minutes. We'll see if another 15 minutes makes a difference. This is the Resolve. You can see where it stopped. It's definitely lighter. Then this is where I scrubbed it. It is a little bit slightly lighter, but pretty pretty similar to not scrubbing it, because when I used the washcloth afterwards, the rest of the dirt came off. So either way, you have to scrub it. It's unavoidable. Here is the first row of peroxide and baking soda. This one is where I scrubbed it, and I think this is the lightest. And this was only 15 minutes, and I can see a difference. This was letting it sit a little longer. They're comparable, this line and this line, but I think this one is even brighter. The one that I scrubbed and only sat for 15 minutes. This one I didn't scrub, but it sat for 30. It is light though. I think the winner is peroxide and baking soda with dish soap, letting it sit for 15 minutes and scrubbing it halfway through. So we're gonna do my whole kitchen. So when you're working with a paste like this to lighten your grout, apparently you want to make sure that it doesn't get like dried out and crusty, because if you let it dry out completely, all the dirt that you just dislodged can settle back into the grooves of the grout. And also I read that it can lighten unevenly and leave your grout kind of splotchy. So you just want to pay attention to it and make sure it stays wet. I left it on for about a half an hour and I could tell it was starting to get dry, but I never really ran into it drying out completely. But if you're gonna let it sit for a long time, just keep an eye on it. In progress here, we've got some pretty dark grout here. This is where I already worked. I've got my stuff sitting. Once I got the entire kitchen covered, I had already passed about 15 minutes, so I just went back to the beginning and started scrubbing. Now I used my Rubbermaid spin brush. I thought it was the perfect coarseness. It's a nice medium bristle. You don't want to use something super soft like a toothbrush, and you don't want to use something really, really coarse, especially not something like a wire brush or a metal brush. That's going to grind away your grout, and if your grout is sealed, that's going to remove your seal. So I found a medium bristle brush to be the sweet spot. I did like that my brush was a spin brush so that the elbow grease was just coming out of the brush and not my arms. However, it was really small, so I think if I would have used a bigger brush, I could have gotten this done quicker, but it worked. Now when you clean this stuff up, you want to use hot water, as hot as you can get. So I ran my tap until it was as hot as I can get my water, filled up my bucket, and I mopped it up. But like I mentioned in the beginning in a little text, I put too much soap in my mixture. So I learned my lesson. It took 2 passes with the mop over the floor to get all of the suds and all of the baking soda crumbles off of the floor. So less is more. Don't do as much soap as I did. Just a little bit will go a long way. After I could see all the suds and crumbles were gone, I went over the whole floor with my steam mop. I also did this twice because I could see a little haze of baking soda residue after the first pass, but after the second time steam mopping, it was perfectly clean. And I let it all dry, and I was very impressed. I noticed a huge difference, especially when you compare it to the room edges. Well, my grout is looking fantastic. I would say my final thoughts are that if you really want to get some like serious lightening, do the peroxide and baking soda method. It'll get you a lot of lightening, but it was very messy. It was more difficult than I expected to mop it all up. The Resolve, I think it's still lightened, just not as dramatically. So I'm going to, when I need it, use the peroxide and baking soda method and then keep up with it like annually or biannually with the Resolve, because it did work. I'm off to buy more baking soda so I can do the rest of my main floor. But if you have any other methods that you recommend or that you want me to try, let me know. Also, if you like cleaning videos and you also happen to like true crime, I know, check out my new series that I post weekly. It's called Cleaning and Crime. Every week I post a motivating cleaning video of my whole house, and then over voiceover I tell you a true crime story. So I'm having a lot of fun making them, so check them out. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Let me know if you have a grout cleaning method you want me to try out. Okay, bye.